Good morning, world. Steffi here with today's edition of Soil and Soul on Sacred Earth Essentials. I believe the earth is sacred and you are too. So today's edition, the intent is to be a calming and relaxing edition, more focused on soulful aspect than on a specific plant. So as you can see, it is raining. We are here in Vermont in January and it's raining. That can't be good, right? For those of you who are not familiar with the climate in Vermont, usually even the lakes, plural, are frozen over by this point in time. So today, if you have the time, try to get out in nature, outside, wherever you may be. Spend some time with the plants, breathing in the oxygen like the trees. So we can be rooted like the trees. There's some more cedars, like we were talking about yesterday. But also remember to breathe like the tree. If you watched the episode that discussed what is soul, and in some cultures and languages, soul literally translates to the breath of life or living being. And so this soul, this breath of life, is in all things that are living and breathing, including trees. Right? So, if it's felt stressful lately for you, for any reason, try practicing some meditation, or at the least, some breathing exercises. Because the breathing exercises will not only physiologically calm you down, but therefore emotionally and mentally, because they're all connected. We had the new year on the Roman calendar a few weeks ago, and coming up on the Chinese New Year. So this whole period feels to me like a period of reflection, wrapping up, letting go, and laying the groundwork or tilling the ground, adding that compost from last year or even the year before. If you had to, you should age your compost to the garden of your soul for this coming year. Not all climates are covered in snow. And so even compost needs to breathe. It needs that in order to break down the things that need to be broken down. And so when we're breathing, we're also cleansing our lungs, oxygenating our blood, oxygenating, which increases the oxygen to your brain, to your organs. So if you're struggling, there's a lot of trees that fell when we had that recent storm. So if you are struggling with any physical ailments, oftentimes breathing exercises can even help alleviate pain or improve things like inflammation, concentration, blood pressure if you're experiencing struggles with blood pressure. And there are many different types of breathing exercises, and it can get overwhelming and confusing at times. If you're someone like me who probably spends too much time worrying about right and wrong, maybe. The important thing is to just breathe. like the trees. They're here rooted, planted in this particular example by the water. And no matter what is happening around them, they're still being themselves. They're still being what they were made to be. They're still taking in the carbon from the atmosphere and for their own life. And as they take from the atmosphere and from the soil, they give back as well. So when we're breathing, we can think of being like a tree. We can be rooted and firmly planted, maybe by some still water if you have it. Maybe you want to take a bath while you practice this, for example. And just like how the trees are breathing in the carbon, we can breathe in not just oxygen on thin ice here, but also we can breathe in pain. I believe the practice is called Tongling, and I know Pema Chodron teaches a lot about this. Breathing in pain and suffering and breathing out love. If that feels counterintuitive to you, some other breathing practices recommend, if you want calm, you're breathing in calm and you're breathing out stress. I'm sitting on snow right now. Get some snow pants. So we can today practice in a way like the tree. Breathing in oxygen, and transmuting, or the tree's breathing in the carbon and transmuting it into oxygen for others. And so we can acknowledge, we can soften and breathe in the reality of the world, which includes the suffering of others and our own. And we can think about how our lungs, like the branches of the trees, are using this seemingly negative aspects of the world and transmuting it into something positive, something that adds and enriches to the world around us and to ourselves, because we're all connected. And how do I think this is helpful to the world or useful to the earth, like on the soil level? When we soften and slow down and root and ground, when we connect with nature, when we breathe and calm ourselves and actually feel our true feelings, and not just, maybe what some societal or cultural norms or, mainstream, I'll even use the word propaganda, has taught us, when we connect instead of divide, and, including our differences and diversity, we're able to not only have a better grasp of the world we live in, but also be able to see and experience, the beauty and the love more. And I think that there are a lot of people who are struggling in the world right now, all over the world, in many different types of ways, different degrees, different levels. But we do all have the soil in common, and we all have breath in common, and we're all connected through that breath. And if people who are struggling with health issues on any level, family, relationship struggles, when we take the time to sit down and breathe and to connect to our own heart and the world around us and to feel what we truly feel and be able to label those feelings and articulate them, when we're able to really connect and feel, I think that a lot more people will begin and further along the process of healing, a cultural dynamic that it isn't really serving the world anymore. And what I refer to is like that dog eat dog kind of mentality, and then we really are shifting into a more compassionate culture. And there are going to be a lot of people who, will have to process different things through that. And so I believe that breathing, and I'm thinking a lot of like Vermonter, it's like traditional, stereotypical, woodsman, for example, and like really I'm thinking a lot about white American males and their need for love and healing as well, and honoring people who are working hard of all classes and races throughout the world, but also recognizing that the gender norms and the gender pressure that have been on men in a different way than the problems that women have and do continue to struggle with, and that teaching people to meditate and to breathe and feel their emotions regardless of gender identification will help people to be kinder and more compassionate to themselves, and then lead with others with that same compassion. And my hope is that that process will help a lot of people who are in positions of power to do what they can to help, save the planet and help save the soil and help cultivate peace here on Earth for whatever amount of time that we have left. Because, most people want to be happy and healthy and feel good. And so as we help ourselves to be healthy and happy without harming others, we can then extend that into the world, even through the intention with our breath of cultivating a safe and healthy environment for all beings. And I believe that through this process, even people who have said, oh, climate change isn't real, or, people who are strongly attached to ways of doing things that still have their benefits, but may also need upgraded. They will also soften and realize how much joy and pleasure and how much it also benefits them to take care of the world around them instead of exploit it. Oh, dear Lord, I just want to thank Great Spirit for today. I want to thank all of you for being here listening. I want to thank Yoda for being a trusty companion here out in the rain. Today the kids are off. Liam is off school. Also on Monday for Martin Luther King Day. We all have a dream. And there are common threads in our dreams. So let's go ahead and take 3 minutes of mindful breathing together. If you like, enjoy the sounds of the rain dropping, sounds of Yoda, sounds of me breathing. As I breathe in suffering and breathe out love. In 3, 2, 1, ding. today, go ahead, let's take a breath together. In 3, 2, 1, we'll breathe in. 3, 2, 1, breathe in. And release. Alright, folks, today, do your best to stay rooted like a tree. Breathing in with awareness and tenderness, suffering of the world, if you so choose, and breathing out. Love, be at peace, and be a blessing. Bye.